Hi, my name is Jenni McKenna and I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I love the bright lights of Las Vegas and everything that it has offered to me and my family. And I thought that I would make a quick little video to give the pros and the cons of Las Vegas. And you're going to hear it from somebody that was literally born at Sunrise Hospital 54 years ago and has lived her entire life here. So one of the pros is I like having a little bit of a history on the city. I like being in a city that has some character and, knowing that we were built by the mob and that our casinos were originally just for laundering money, I find to be interesting. I mean, if you're going to have a back history, why not have it be a little bit colorful? Obviously, that is not the case now. Our casinos are true businesses. They are legitimate. And I'm just going to let you know that those casinos are not built off of all the wins that everybody has when they're playing video poker, craps. Most everybody leaves our casinos as a tourist with less money in their pocket than when they begin with, but it pays for our taxes. So that's my first pro. It's affordability. Because we've got a lot of things that feed into the system, it helps us taxpayers not to have to pay as much. So to give you an example, property tax is about 1%. I know, shocker. If you're living in Illinois, you're used to 2.49%. But here in Las Vegas, Henderson or North Las Vegas, it's got an equation that works out, but really it's about 1%, which is amazing. Also speaking to affordability, when you get your paycheck, you want to have as much of that money be kept in your pocket as possible. Here in Nevada, we don't have state income tax. So all that money gets to stay in your pocket, or as much as, the IRS doesn't take. But basically that helps you afford more and buy more. And it just makes it like a little better for the cost of living. Now, a few years ago, our housing was very affordable. We have not seen that for a little while. So our housing prices are going up. We are nowhere near California, New York, some of those bigger cities. So we get to be in the bigger city game, meaning lots of franchises coming in, lots of different stores, the Costco's, the Lowe's, the Home Depot's, we've got those all through the city. And we don't have to pay as much to live here. So I still think affordability when it comes to Las Vegas. So that's definitely a pro. I happen to love the weather. Now, do I love June, July, and August? Maybe not so much. The temperatures can get as high as 110 to 115 on average during those months, during the day. And I'd like to tell you that it cools off at night when the sun goes down, but it's just tolerable. That is when all of us natives walk our dogs. That is if you want to get your exercise in, you do it early in the morning or you do it when the sun sets. The asphalt does cool down to only about 87 degrees. At least you don't get the little, lines across the asphalt where everybody's like, yeah, we can we can cook an egg on the asphalt. It's tolerable. You will sweat, but it's tolerable. And again, the reason I say I love the weather is because we only have to deal with that in June, July, and August. After that, in September, some of our September nights are beautiful. So it really does start to cool down and we get to enjoy Las Vegas and everything it gets to offer with the nighttime life with no mosquitoes or little flying bugs. Because quite honestly, mosquitoes don't really live here. Yes, there are some. Yes, you can create an environment for a mosquito to live. But overall, you can walk out the door when the sun is setting and not have to put bug repellent all over you. I don't even own a can of bug repellent. So yeah, you get to enjoy all the evenings without worrying about getting eaten alive by the bugs. And September, October, even November, nights are incredible. Days cool off. December and January, it can get cold. Not cold enough to get snow. Once in a blue moon, we'll get some snow, but it melts like within that day. But it does get some cold weather in December and January. And then By mid-February, not so bad, starts to warm up. You can start feeling the effects of what spring's gonna bring. And then you get to enjoy the rest of the year until June. So yes, I think weather is definitely a perk when it comes to living in Las Vegas. Now, another pro. How about our restaurants and our entertainment? Bar none, they've got to be some of the best. I mean, I love New York, don't get me wrong. Their Broadway plays are wonderful. I love eating at their restaurants. Peter Luger, shout out, love Peter Luger. But we have those restaurants here. We have some of the top rated chefs that have brought their restaurants wherever they started, and they've brought them to Las Vegas, whether it's a standalone or whether it's in one of our casinos. So I can play tourist whenever I want, pick some of the best food, go into that casino, eat an incredible meal, and it's literally in my back door. So it's kind of cool. Entertainment, obviously, we have Cirque shows. We have the Smith Center that brings in Broadway plays. We've got a ton of entertainment, and even some small scale stuff. Little things that are in the little theaters. Encore over at the Wynn has a little theater that they'll bring different acts in. And then I cannot forget to talk about the Sphere. I mean, take a moment after you listen to this podcast or this YouTube video and go check out the Sphere. It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely amazing. I went and saw the Eagles there in December. Best concert of my life. Literally teared up when it was over. It is amazing. And to kind of just give you an example, the Sphere is going to be playing The Wizard of Oz in the month of August of 2025 because it's promoting the second part of Wicked. So I mean, just stuff like that is all through the city all the time. The other thing that I love is outdoor activities. So if you're like hiking, you've got Red Rock, you've got the Grand Canyon. Well, you can go to the Grand Canyon, which isn't too far, but you've got Mount Charleston, which, believe it or not, is about 20 degrees cooler in whatever the downtown Las Vegas is. We do have skiing in Mount Charleston, so we have a ski resort up there. You've also got Lake Mead. So if you're a boater, you can take the boat down, or you can rent a pontoon boat over on the Colorado River and enjoy that for the day. So we do have outdoor activities that are really quite exceptional. I was actually hiking. When I say hiking, I kind of just mean around the basin of a mountain. But while I was hiking the basin of the mountain, there was a club there. It was on a Saturday, and there had to be 25 rock climbers that were climbing the side of this mountain. It was amazing. So another pro outdoor activity. And then to add to that pro list, how about the opportunities of job, the growth that the city offers? I can't tell you, being in real estate, most of the time when I ask a client, why did you move to Vegas? It was because of a job opportunity. There are so many jobs that are offered outside of the Strip, outside of the gaming and even entertainment industry. So there is a lot happening with tech here in Nevada. Switch is buying up property left and right, and they are building this massive, it's basically tech data. So they've been brought in. We've got, we were on the short list for Google. We do have a warehouse for Google, but I really foresee in the future, we are going to be a big name state for some big companies coming our direction. I mean, why not? You've got everything that a big corporation is looking for to bring their company over to us. So those are the pros, and there are a lot of them. Those are at least my favorite pros. Now, every city is going to have a con. There's not, I'll be honest, everything's not perfect here in our bright light Las Vegas place. But I weigh it out, and I don't think the cons outweigh the pros. So let's talk about some of the cons. One of the cons is, as we talked earlier about weather, the 300 days of sunshine. Well, some of those 300 days of sunshine, it's 115 degrees. That's a little hot. So yes, as we discussed before, You are going to not necessarily like the summer. Summers are rough, and you are going to go from one air-conditioned building to your air-conditioned car to your air-conditioned house. And in the middle, if you have a car without air conditioning, you are going to want to buy a car with air conditioning. You've got to have air conditioning when you live in Las Vegas. So that is a con. One of the other cons is tourism, if you want to say that. Tourism can be a little frustrating if you're trying to get places and there's a big event happening. I kind of put that more on like side burner over here. Tourism is what brings us money, pays for a lot of our stuff. So I'll deal with it. I'll deal with that inconvenience once in a while. But what I don't like is the traffic and also the road closures. So the traffic is just what happens when you have a growing city. And then what they're trying to do is get ahead of the growing city. So they will expand roads. They will add certain things to roads. They will, our freeways got all these new on-ramps and off-ramps. I do not think that I've ever lived in Las Vegas that I can remember where there wasn't orange cones somewhere where I was driving. We like to say, as a local, we like to say that our state flower are those orange construction cones. And we like to say that our state bird is the cranes that you have when you're building. So that's just kind of like a little inside Vegas humor for you. But yeah, I would say there is not a time I go out in the city where I'm not going to run into some form of construction traffic. I guess a growing city, that's what you've got. Now, bar none, this is a con that is not getting better in the foreseeable future. It has not been good ever since I can remember, and it is public transportation. If you are going to move to Las Vegas or you're thinking about Las Vegas, you are going to have your own car. Period. End of report. Do not rely on our public transportation. It is awful. I know every street. I know every route. And I still look at the bus system and I cannot figure it out. And from what I understand, people that do take the bus, they're never on time. Sometimes there's just buses that just don't show up. So yeah, public transportation, unfortunately, big con for our Las Vegas Valley. And then the other one are our vices. So we are a city that was built with casinos, built for gaming. We like our video poker. We like craps table. We like roulette. But if you are somebody that has a problem with vices, namely alcohol and gambling, you might find it hard living in Las Vegas. Now, we do have a little city right outside of Henderson called Boulder City. And in Boulder City, they do not allow gaming. You can still buy a lot of alcohol there, but no gaming. So if that is something you want to watch out for, you could go 30 minutes outside of Las Vegas into a cute little city called Boulder City, and you wouldn't have to worry about the gaming. But if you are going to go into Las Vegas to do anything, you are going to be faced with it. We have slot machines in grocery stores, at 7-Elevens, in gas stations, you name it. There is a slot machine. I could probably get a slot machine in the lobby of my McKenna Property Management office if I really wanted to. They are everywhere. And they are entertaining. I like to go and do my fair share of throwing in some money into the video poker and trying to see if I got lucky that day. But if it is something that you tend to go as far as addiction, Las Vegas could be trouble. The other thing I've noticed is alcohol can be bought at any time and in any kind of amount. I just visited Arkansas a couple weeks ago and I went to the grocery store. There is no hard alcohol that can be served in a grocery store. Well, that is not the case here in my beautiful city. Hard alcohol is everywhere. So buy it in the grocery store and right next to the beer and the wine, and there are probably 3 rows in every grocery store of alcohol. So if you are one that likes to drink and maybe don't quite know when to stop, that could become a bit of an issue here in Las Vegas. And one of the other things I realize is even if you are enjoying your drink, you may then want to go gamble because that goes hand in hand. And that drinking and gambling can become kind of a recipe for disaster. So you just have to be cautious about it. I grew up around it. To me, the noise of slot machines is just the thing that I'm used to. Bright lights walking in. Also, smoking in casinos. They haven't banned that yet. So it is a place where a lot of people who do like their cigarettes or vape, they have an outlet that they don't get kicked out of when they are in the casino. So there is, if you hate smoking when you're trying to do something, most of the casinos are smoker friendly. So that is basically my pro and con list. Again, I think my pros way outweigh the cons. You can tell I really love my city. I think that this is a city where you can raise a beautiful family. You can have memories. It just offers a lot. And all you need to do is take a little bit of effort, find out what was going on that weekend or the upcoming weeks, get a ticket, and then go enjoy what Las Vegas, Henderson, or North Las Vegas can offer. Hopefully this has been helpful. If there's anything else that you've got questions on, please reach out to me. You can do so by getting online and finding McKenna Property Management, or my social media, which is at McKenna Property Management. That's on the Instagram. You can DM me, Jenni McKenna. I'd love to find out if there's anything more that you want to know about my city. And if you are interested in moving here, we can certainly help with that. Max Zerflu, my husband, is a 20-year licensed realtor. He can help you find that property. Or if you're interested in investing in Las Vegas, Max can help you find that investment property, and then I'd be more than happy to manage it for you. All right, well, that's all I have for the Las Vegas pros and cons, and hopefully I'll hear from you. Talk to you soon. Bye.